Hey guys, Peekamolf here, and welcome to my Sylas combo guide. This guide is actually going to be going over his abilities, the best way to use his abilities, and finally the best combos that you can use on the champion. Let's jump right into it. First is his passive. When Sylas uses an ability, his next auto attack will be empowered, dealing AoE damage around him in a circle. Next is his Q. His Q is two chains that intersect where the mouse is. Where the intersection is, it will cause an explosion, dealing extra magic damage and slowing. Sylas W is a short-range, damaging ability that also heals you. When the target is below 40% HP, it will deal more damage. When you are below 40% HP, it will heal you for double the amount. Next is the first cast of his E. His first cast will do a short dash and give him a brief shield. The second part of his E is a chain that will shoot towards the target. When landing, it stuns them and then knocks them airborne when you finally arrive at them. Lastly is his ultimate. When cast on a target, you will gain the ability to use that person's ulti. The ulti is based on your level and not the enemy's, and also you can use the ulti immediately. At level 16 at 40% CDR, Sylas ulti is on a 9-second cooldown. Because of this, it sounds really OP, but there's actually another feature of Sylas ulti that makes it so you can't just steal people's ulti on a 9-second cooldown. That feature is the ring that's appearing under the target dummy right now. That ring is telling me that I am unable to steal that person's ulti until that ring has disappeared. The ring is based on 200% of the enemy ultimate's cooldown. So that means if this target dummy has a 15-second cooldown on his ultimate, that means it will take 30 seconds for the ring to disappear. This 200% is affected by Sylas CDR, so the more CDR you have, the lower it will be. The ring, however, cannot go below 20 seconds because it is capped. Now that you have a grasp of what Sylas' abilities do, let's go into the interactions. One of the most important ability interactions is weaving your auto attacks in between each ability, making it so you get multiple passive procs off. This can be done extremely quickly. This includes the first cast of your E, meaning that your E can actually be used to get 2 passive procs off. Next is his EQ combo. If your E is going to land, you can cast your Q, making it so they're stuck on top of the explosion damage of your Q, so they're unable to run out of it. You can follow this up with a W afterwards and an auto attack, dealing even more burst damage. When casting Sylas E, there is a short window where you can still cast abilities before you get locked out. Normally it would be used on Q. Because of this, it makes it so you can actually flash out of the chain. You can also do this with Protobelt. Remember, this is when the chain lands. If you flash before it lands, it actually will still pull you all the way towards them. Because of this, you can use Protobelt before the chain lands to get some damage in before, but that means you can't use the Q combo. Zhonya's will also not stop your E. The E cooldown begins on your first cast. This means that if you hold on to the second cast and wait for it to almost time out, your next E is going to be up on a very short cooldown. This becomes way more noticeable when you're sitting on 40% CDR. When stealing an ulti under tower, it will make it so you take tower aggro even though it doesn't deal any damage. The first cast of his ulti also procs his passive. Let's move on to combos. The combo that's going to be used most, especially during laning phase, is having the EQ combo followed by an auto attack W auto attack. One thing to note is that your E range is longer than your Q range, so it's actually possible to miss your Q. The combo that's going to deal the most damage is being able to weave auto attacks between each ability, so this means starting it off with E if they're in range. Remember to also try to end it on W because it's going to deal extra damage if they get below 40% from the initial burst. A trick that you can do with the EQ combo is you can E and then you can actually cast your ulti and Q at the same time as long as you cast the ulti first. This is the highest burst damage potential in the game because you're going to be able to get the EQ combo off and you're going to have their ulti by the time that you arrive at them. When you're about 30 to 40% CDR, if you're able to do the E trick where you are able to use the first cast to make it so the second cast of the E is on a shorter cooldown, you will actually be able to use a second cast of the E inside of the same combo with very little downtime. A lot of cases your Q is actually coming off a cooldown during that second E, which means that you actually can get off 2 Qs and 2 Es inside of one combination. I'll quickly go over some last minute tips. If you are to use Proto Belt inside of your game, remember that if you use it during the chain, you won't be able to cast your Q because it makes it so you're locked out of abilities. Because of this, it might be better to actually wait to use Proto Belt after you actually use the initial combo. For the last tip, remember that there are special ulti interactions, like being able to combo Yasuo ulti off of your own E because it gives you a knockup. Not only that, but Vayne actually gives you stealth off of her ulti because when she ults and gives herself a Q, that means that she actually is able to stealth from it, so it's going to give it to you too. So because there's so many people who have already made videos on just special ulti interactions with Sylas, I'm not going to be going over that inside of this video. And with that being said, that is the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you like educational League of Legends content, be sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.